Hello. Welcome to another edition of Speak Your Piece with Ronnie Q. It's been a minute. I know. Had a lot to do, holidays, birthday passed, and doing my thing. So check it. Today's topic will be, let's go off at the top. I want to talk about the realm of trust and how much faith we put in people. Over the past few days and weeks that I've been away from from here, I've had an epiphany about the people I surround myself with and the relatives I surround myself with and the associates, just the all around conglomerate of people I surround myself with. I've realized that a lot of times we try to keep a constant connection even when there is none that are existing in the present. I think that reason is because we kind of have this reminiscence of how we existed before the growth of life and family and children and bills and everything. I think that we somehow established ourselves differently as we gain the perspective of our own personal existence. And as we grow, and as we grow apart, sometimes that happens as well. Trusting someone becomes more of a effort and not more of a just prerequisite. Usually, you could trust somebody you knew for years and years and years. I say you haven't seen them for 10, 20 years, and all of a sudden you see them again. Suddenly, a question that you never asked before hits your mind. Well, are they the same person I knew before? And what's changed so far about their lives? And can I trust them to be, the same person they were before? But you can't trust them to be the same person they were before. But do they still carry that same camaraderie? Which should be the question. Because people's personalities over time do somehow evolve into something either greater or lesser. That reality within itself is a scary one because if you evolve for the better, you more or less let go of a lot of things that are detrimental to your personal and emotional growth. Things that would hinder you from the progression that'll get you to that height that you want to get to. And you have to find that space where there's a certain level of comfortability that has you in the best possible position to be greater. But sometimes people evolve into the lesser, where they don't move out of the same aspect of life where they've been sitting for the past 20, 30 years, and they have not moved out of that same spot. They have not evolved past to their own insecurities. They have not evolved past to their own inequities. They have not evolved past their own, you know, self-proclaimed progression. They remain a constant stagnation within their own existence. They haven't gotten out of that same old existence. Like, for instance, you ever had that one friend you used to go out and party with and drink with and have fun with who's still sitting on the front porch drinking 40, smoking Newport, smoking weed all by himself, just doing nothing, expecting everybody to come over and be the same way? They're stuck like right there. There's nothing past that. But he's comfortable there. There is comfort in that for that person. You can't knock that. But you also know that there's something they're capable of. Say if you see something that's innate in them that could possibly blossom into something greater, but all they want to do is be the same way they were 20, 30 years ago. They don't see anything beyond that. They want to stay stuck on that same hamster wheel, going nowhere. Now, you can't expect anybody to evolve because you want them to. But can you trust that person to be that person for you when it comes down to the overall issue of anything beneficial for you? Can you trust that person to be that constant structure for you? Can you trust that person to be that consistent voice in your ear as a voice of reason and necessity? You can't put trust in just a small aspect of trusting one with love, trusting one with life, trusting one with soul, trusting one with money, trusting one with physical attributes, anything. Because trust has so many variations wherever you want to put it. You can't really narrow it down to just one thing. And I think that in general sort of gives way to the understanding that trust is something that is very, very fragile at times, especially when it comes to things that you may have said or done in the past that you're trusting someone to keep a secret, or trusting someone not to say anything, or trusting someone not to remind them of. I think in that aspect that trust becomes a sort of vault, where you have all of this history of all the things you've ever done, and you're trusting someone to keep that vault tight, closed, locked, where nobody can get in. You know, and then later on in life, say if you see the same person, and you find out, hey, they did this, hey, they did that, hey, they did this and that, but they never reached out to none of the rest of us or anybody else, even you. And you're like, yeah, fine. You wish them well. In some cases, you can trust some people to be who they are, or you can trust some people to be petty, or trust some people to be jealous, or trust some people to be just hating all the way around. Trust is a key factor in everything, from platonic relationships to marriages to devoted relationships to monogamous. And trust is a very key factor. But a lot of times people break that trust when they get into a comfortable sense of, not being called out, not being questioned about something. When you get that comfortable and, you put that trust in somebody like that, and suddenly they go beyond their means to break that trust and then expect you to still trust them. And that's the whole flip-flop. And suddenly, years down the line, well, I don't know you anymore. I can't trust you anymore because of something you said or did. That's a reality. So in that sense, we have to understand that trust is a very important component in our everyday existence, because it's kind of like faith. It's blind, but you can't really understand why we want it so much because we can't see it. Because you can't see trust. You can't see the effects of trust unless something is done to break it. I think overall, I think the overall consensus is this: you either have faith enough to trust someone or you don't. And most of the time, you can get that within the first impression of someone. Most of the time, not all the time, because sometimes people are kind of like conundrums, kerfuffles, confusing. So I think that we should try to be better at relating ourselves with how we want to put our trust in someone and who we want to put our trust in. Yeah, I think that's it. So with that said, this has been your host, Ronnie Q. Like, subscribe, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. And I'm out of here.